All right, B. So I think most men nowadays, ages 20 to 30, lack purpose and direction. Why do you think that is, and how do they fix it?
Yeah, well, I think most men who lack a sense of purpose and direction in their 20s or 30s, maybe even older, it's a lack of parenting. I think parents got so soft on their kids because they felt guilty in setting structure, in creating routine, and putting them in sports. If the kid didn't want to be in the sport, they would just pull them right out. Oh, you don't want to be in that sport? That's okay. Parents bubble wrap this generation who are in their 20s and 30s. I guess I would say maybe Gen Zers and kind of the younger millennials. They have been bubble wrapped for far too long. Parents did not put enough pressure on them. They did not put enough expectations on them. They did not keep them in the pressure cooker long enough.
But real quick, why do you think that is?
Well, I think maybe those parents grew up with parents who did put a lot of pressure on them, set expectations, like here's right and wrong, and here's what's going to happen. And their parents didn't care. My parents didn't care about my feelings. Like, this is what's going to happen. This is what you're going to do.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, we're going to Uncle So-and-so's house and you're coming along.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so, but if they're like, nowadays, it's like, well, no, I don't want to go. Well, okay. If you don't want to go because you'll be bored, that's
Respect
okay.
those boundaries.
Yeah, exactly. I would just sit there, bro, in an Armenian house where all the older men are drinking and smoking and all the women are in the corner clucking. And I was like an 11, 12-year-old boy, like, all right, if I even say anything, my dad's going to backhand me in front of these men. And so I would just fall asleep. It'd be 11, 12 o'clock at night. And finally we'd drive home from Glendale to Anaheim. Like, that's how it was. And when my dad's like, I was like, hey, Dad, tomorrow, Sunday, I'm going to go to the beach with my friends. Bro, I'm talking like 15, 16-year-old, right? One of my friends had a driver's license. My dad's like, no, you're not. We're going to dig 16 holes for these trees that I bought. And I'm not talking about little saplings. I'm talking about like trees that were in 5-gallon buckets. And I don't know if y'all know this or not, but if it's a 5-gallon bucket tree, you have to build a hole twice that size. So 15, 16 of these. That took all day. And so, did my dad violate my boundaries? He probably did, Leighton. He probably did. But guess what? I learned priorities. I learned that there's expectations that have to be met, that I have a role in the house. Maybe I'm not earning money yet, but I have a role to plant these goddamn fruit trees that my dad has bought, figs and fucking olive trees and lemon trees and apple trees. And so I say this because parents today have gotten so soft. Here's your video game, here's your iPad, here's your iPhone, I'll knock on your door before I come in to make sure,
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, you want to eat your food in your room, not with us? That's okay. No, motherfucker, come down here. Eat on the kitchen table. We're going to ask questions, and you're not just going to look at your iPhone. You're going to put your phone away. We're going to have connect. So when parents have bubble wrapped and thought about their feelings too long, Andrew had a broken hand. I didn't know it, for the record, so don't be calling Child Protective Services. He was like 8 or 9 years old. He was on a soccer team, like a club soccer team too, like the Mexicans that play in the park, like the fucking hardcore. Yeah. Right? Like, his coach was rad, man. He would get so pissed. He'd go from English to, like, once he got in the red, he'd start cussing in Spanish, right? And Andrew played goalkeeper, so that's a high pressure position. And I thought he had just pulled a muscle, so I'm like, no, son, put it on your gloves. You're going to go play. You're going to be a goalkeeper. It was like weeks later that what I thought was a pulled muscle in his hand didn't get better, so we took him to the doctor. He had a broken thumb. But my point is, he survived. He was fine. Right. At one point, I even duct taped his hand and then put a glove on there, right? And he still cracks jokes about it, but he's a tough kid because of it, right? He's a tough kid because of it. And when soccer got really hard and he didn't want to play, I'm like, hey, man, you said you wanted to play soccer. You have to go through the whole season.
Right.
You have to go through the whole season. And so I didn't pull him out. And by not doing those things, not bubble wrapping, not kid gloving, not helicopter parenting, like, these are the expectations. This is what you're going to do because this is how you're going to become a young man who's going to be capable and confident. Bottom line, parents are the responsible ones, not the kids. I'm telling you, it's easy to build the kids, blame the kids, and then say that they don't have purpose and they don't have direction and they don't have a tribe. The parents put them in sports and took them out, put them in band and took them out. The kid said, I don't want to do that. As a kid, it's your job to not want to do things.
Yeah.
to complain and say, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
It's new. I don't want to do it. What do you mean it's science class and
Right.
go to the museum? Hey guys, quick interruption to the Bedros Keuilian show. I took some time to go to the local juice stores here in town, and I bought all these different ginger, turmeric, and wellness shots. Now, they range anywhere from $3.69 all the way to $4.05. And to be honest with you, they all suck. Why? Because they do not have anywhere near the wonderful ingredients of the Trulene wellness shot. First of all, to build your immune system and keep your immune system strong, Trulene wellness shot is packed with vitamin C, vitamin D, and zinc. And also to help you fight off inflammation, it is packed with turmeric, ginger, and black pepper. And to keep you hydrated, Trulene wellness shots have sodium, potassium, and magnesium. This is the ultimate morning supplement. Just take one packet, pour it in 4 ounces of water, and shoot it, and you're good to go. Best of all, $1.69 per packet instead of twice the price of those other inferior ones. I want you to get 50% off your first 30-day supply. So go to Trulene.com, use my name Bedros, and you can get 50% off plus free shipping, a 30-day money-back guarantee, and $1 gets donated to Shriners Children's Hospital. Best of all, if you like the Trulene wellness shots, and I know you will, like thousands of other people who are part of the Trulene tribe, every month we'll send you a new supply at 20% off, free shipping. So go to Trulene.com, use my name Bedros, and get your 50% discount code before it goes away. Back to the show.
I think it's crazy. Matter of fact, I just had a situation in church a couple days ago, and there was a father and it was a family sitting in front of me in the pew in front. And the little girl was slapping her dad like no tomorrow. And I said, I remember looking at Betsy and I was like, and I looked at the kids too, and I was like, man, hell no, if you ever tried that, it'd be
Right.
WWE in this church. Anyways, the point is that his daughter was going crazy. He clearly didn't have control, because I'm like, it's unacceptable doing that to the mom too. But if you're doing that to the dad, you have no respect, you have no fear of what's gonna happen. I already know the house is crazy, right?
Right.
So
That's an indicator of that.
Yeah, so exactly, right? So then you know, it keeps going on, whatever, and then she calms down for a little bit, and she kind of up and down, and then finally it came to the point where you could smell, because this baby's, she's like a toddler,
Yeah.
it's like 2, maybe 2.5,
Yeah.
and so she freaking has a diaper on, she poops her pants, you can smell it, everyone can smell it, so the dad's like, well, we got to change your diaper, but like, what are we gonna do? Like, he's like, because he knows if she takes her out to change her diaper, she's gonna flip out and probably try smacking him, hitting him, whatever.
Yeah.
I looked at Betsy. I was like, what do you mean? What are you going to do? Take her out? Like, freaking pull her out, dragging and
Let her
screaming,
cry.
whatever, like, scream, like, whatever. It's crazy, man. I think, you know, parents nowadays give their kids too much control. And so that's a whole other conversation. So we understand the why, you know, that maybe this generation, like the adults of now, of today, are like this. But how do they, you know, fix themselves? Like, we know how to fix the kids. Hey, stop giving your kids so much control. Stop letting them, you know, do whatever they want, and
Yeah.
you know, letting them put so many boundaries. I'm not saying boundaries are bad, but you know, it comes to a point where you gotta mellow out. So how does a parent that's already been through that themselves, you know, they feel like they don't have purpose or direction, like how do they save themselves?
Well, I think at that point, you have to realize that your parents fucked up. It's not their fault. They meant well. We all meant well. It's just they fucked up. So you can't sit there and blame them and go, this is how I am.
Yeah.
At this point, now you have to take self-responsibility and go, now it's time to toughen up. So now if I don't feel like working out, I'm going to work out. I don't feel like meal prepping, I'm going to meal prep. I know I need to get myself out of debt. I need to learn financial literacy. Like, it was my job to teach my kids financial literacy. So your parents didn't teach you? Learn it. Like, everything, basically, parent yourself the right way. Go back as an adult and parent yourself the right way. If you're like, man, my parents should have put me in soccer and athletics and whatever. Like, part of my whole 6-week challenges that I do, like, I wish my parents would have like put me in some kind of sports or whatever. They didn't. And so because of that, I took, you know, 6-week challenge marathon run, to run a marathon, to learn to surf, rock climbing, jujitsu, MMA, like you name it, because I wanted to go back and build toughness, like mental toughness, physical toughness, expand my comfort zone. These are all things that people can voluntarily do. Most people will say, my parents didn't do it for me, I blame them, and therefore I'm gonna stay soft and a victim the rest of my life. Or you go, my parents didn't do it, they did the best they could with what they knew. There was a whole generation of those parents who decided to be soft, and there was, you know, the participation trophy parents. And because of that, you go, I can't blame my parents now. I'm a grown ass adult. I'm going to do things that are going to make me tougher. I'm going to go join an MMA or a boxing club or jujitsu and have a community there of savages. I'm going to go learn to play chess and be a thinker. I'm going to go do one of those art classes where you're drinking wine and painting art, or what is the place, the Color Me Mine, where you're making a pot and shit, right? You know, like there's a whole bunch of creative, artistic, fun, challenging, physical, mental things you can do that you all of a sudden begin to develop structure and discipline, and you get fit. And like, tell yourself, hey, I want to get abs and I want to run. I want to be able to run a marathon and get abs and run a marathon. And then do you like that version of yourself? Yeah, keep maintaining it. But when they blame their parents and then they go, therefore, this is how I am the rest of my life. They believe these are fixed habits now and I have to stay a fat, floppy loser. Then they will continue to always point blame and stay a loser. Or you can say they did the best they can, but I have absolute responsibility now, and these are the choices I'm going to make to become physically, mentally tough, financially stout, and a solid human being that can build a tribe of different types of people who are funny, people who are savages, people who understand money. How cool would it be to have all types of like groups of friends to belong to, right? Like you skate, you have your group of friends who are skaters, but not all of them probably box. So you also know people who box. And you also know people who make money. You also know people who have maybe some artistic endeavor or the faith, right? Because you're very spiritual in that way. And it's good to have those tribes to belong to. But because your parents didn't put you into it doesn't mean you just go on being a hermit the rest of your life.